Hello and welcome back to Titan Sports. I'm Noah Segovia.
Hey everyone, I'm Eddie Bruegger.
How's it going? I'm Colin Costigan.
And I'm Francisco Molina. We're here to get the ball rolling to provide you with weekly sports updates. Welcome to Titan Sports.
It was announced last week that Shohei Ohtani's former interpreter, Ippei Mitsuhara, has been accused of stealing $16 million from Shohei. Mitsuhara made wire transfers from Ohtani's bank account to illegal bookmaking operations in California. Mitsuhara never bet on baseball, but has been accused of making over 19,000 bets in a 2-year span. Mitsuhara's winning bets came out to $142 million, and his losing bets came out to $182 million. Mitsuhara has a scheduled arraignment for May 9th after being released on an unsecured $25,000 appearance bond.
Meanwhile, the Dodgers lost 2 out of their 3 games to the San Diego Padres this weekend at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers are now 11-7 on their year and are in first place in the NL West. Could this situation with Ohtani be a distraction for the Dodgers this season?
This past weekend was the 88th Masters Tournament in Augusta, Georgia. The Masters is the first of 4 major tournaments that will be played this year. Sunday was a crazy day as there was a 4-way tie with 9 holes left to play. Scheffler, Morikawa, Aberg, and Oma were all tied at 6 under par. The tie wouldn't last long as Scottie Scheffler would pull ahead at 9 under par after 10 holes. Scheffler would birdie 6 times in a 10-hole stretch on Sunday to earn his second green jacket. The number 1 ranked golfer in the world went 4 under par to finish 11 under and win the Masters by 4 strokes.
Tiger Woods made history this weekend, making the cut for the 24th consecutive time at the Masters. Woods would end up having a tough last 2 days, finishing the tournament a career worst at 16 over.
In CSUF golf news, March was a month to remember for the women's team as the Big West Golfer of March goes to none other than our very own Davina Xanh. This honor is not her first time in the rodeo, as her first Big West Golfer of the Month award came from October of the 2022-23 season.
Starting March strong, Xanh rocked the Red Rocks tournament by shooting an even par 216. As the Titans finished in for 6th with Weber State, Xanh was the only Cal State Fullerton golfer to be in the top 10 individual leaderboards.
Another eye-opening performance came from the Fresno State Classic, where the Titans placed 12th out of 6 competitors. As the whole team struggled, Xanh put the team on her back, hitting even par 216 to tie for 4th. Similar to the last performance, she was the only Titan to place in the top 40 of that tournament.
As the month of March was a struggle for the team collectively, Xanh and the team are starting to pick up the pace, finishing 9th at the Wyoming Collegiate Classic this April. We here at Titan Sports congratulate you, Davina Xanh, and good luck for the rest of the season.
CSUF's women's water polo shined last Sunday, defeating number 25 Cal State Northridge 5-3. This win not only snaps their losing skid, but becomes their first conference win in program history. Battling against a ranked opponent, it was all business for the Titans as this became their second win against a ranked team this season.
As the offense struggled from both sides, it was the Titans defense that spoke volumes. Titans goalkeeper Annabelle Sherman recorded 10 saves out of 32 shots. The Matadors attempted outshooting the Titans 24. The offense was led by junior Shania Rainey, scoring 2 goals, adding to her leading tally of 49 this season.
It was the Titans on top in the first half as they led 2-1 in the first period, which remained the same in the second. The final half was a different story as the Matadors outscored the Titans in the third period, ending the period 3-3. Entering the final period tied, junior Taylor Mason and Destiny Hernandez secured the win with their closing minute goals.
A much-needed win for the Titans as they make program history with their first conference win, snapping their 5-game losing streak with a record of 10-15. The Titans look to ride the wave as they ramp up for Big West Championship with 3 conference games remaining.
All right, stay tuned for our roundtable discussion coming up right after the break.
right, so I'd first like to begin talking about the Ohtani scandal along with his interpreter. Of course, we know that Ohtani was just cleared of the federal investigation, but I want to hear from you guys because, of course, there's a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors that Ohtani had a role in it, and that comes from people who may not like Ohtani or just comes from a lot of different sources. So I want to hear from you guys. Do you believe Ohtani at least had a role in this scandal?
I don't think so. I think Ohtani has shown the kind of person he is throughout the past couple of years. He's never been related to any form of scandal. Anyone in any clubhouse he's been with the Angels, now with the Dodgers, they only speak such high positive praises towards him. Dave Roberts actually was applauding how he was acting throughout the entire time of this investigation, saying, quote, he's unflappable, saying that he would come into the clubhouse. You couldn't tell that he was in the middle of an investigation. His attitude was the same. They even say, multiple players were saying, you can't tell when he's having a good or a bad day because his professionalism is there every single day. And I believe that his character speaks volumes. I mean, we saw what he did for Joe Kelly's wife. He gifted her a Porsche because she was giving the green flag so that Ohtani can take that number. And that's just the kind of person he is. He's a family person. And I don't think there's any association with him and the Bets. And the Dodgers have been standing by that since day one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, speaking of attitude, Ohtani is all about team first and winning. Right now, with the investigation going on, he leads the team, and he's tied with Mookie Betts with 26 hits. And I got to give praise to the Dodgers. They have taken care of this gambling speculation investigation. And I'm just speculating here. I haven't heard any of the Dodgers media bring up any other gambling investigation at all. And I think that's high praise from the front office and the media from the Dodgers.
Yeah. And I believe, like, obviously I have a biased opinion as a Dodger fan, but I know who the type of player, like how he is in public, and you mentioned his professionalism. I was just waiting for this to happen because I was tired of this speculation because everybody's going to have their own conspiracy theories and everything like that. But it's kind of nice to hear that he was finally cleared so people, I mean, they're not going to stop talking about it. We all know how people are.
Yeah.
But it's nice that we could just move on and play baseball. And now speaking of baseball, I want to talk about the Dodgers themselves. We mentioned they lost 2 of 3, but they just lost last night as well. It was another poor hitting performance, we know Glasnow was pitching and he was under the weather, so I think that contributed to his poor outing. But they've now lost 3 of their last 4 games. While it's still early in the season, what do you think the Dodgers need to work on right now to kind of help get themselves back on track?
I think that this is very common in baseball where first 10, 15 games of the season, you're like, oh no, this team's doing horrible or this team's doing awful. We see it with the Astros. They can have a really rough start, but they're always in the postseason.
Exactly.
It's kind of like the weather we've been having lately, right? Where it's so uncertain, where one day it's raining, one day it's cold, one day it's raining with the sunshine outside. It's still, making adjustments in this baby of a season for baseball. So I don't think there's any worry for the Dodgers. It takes about 25 to 30 games to get a team situated. So I think they're on the right start. We just see that against the Padres, they always have some kind of bad luck ever since that goose a couple years ago, right? But I think that there's no big or major changes that need to be done. I think they're just evaluating themselves and accommodating to their team chemistry.
Yeah, I think on the offensive side of the ball, they're doing very good. I want to focus more on the pitching staff. So I know Bobby Miller is on the IL, and I believe Gavin Stone is. But I think if we can just nail down the pitching staff, we'll be fine. The bullpen has been doing fantastic, and props to the Dodgers. They brought up their prospect Andy Paredes or Pages. So him with the mids on the bench will give them a good boost of young energy.
Yeah, and you'd mentioned Pages being called up today. That's going to be big because what the biggest problem that I've noticed, and I think most fans will agree, has been the bottom of the order, which typically for most teams you expect them to not perform well, but as a Dodger standard, you have to be able to contribute in some type of fashion to be able to even be a part of the lineup because there's so much talent there. And the issue is we have guys like Outman, Hernandez, Lux, and Taylor who are all batting under 200. And then Chris Taylor is historically bad right now. He literally has a 30 batting average. He is 1 for 33 on the season. And while it's still early, it's like that can't happen. You can't. And I think he has almost 20 strikeouts on the season. Yeah. So luckily, he still is a fantastic outfielder, and that's what he can contribute. But it starts with the bottom of the order because they're the ones who are handing it up to those guys at the top, like Mookie and Ohtani, to help bring in those guys. And they're not getting on base, which is oftentimes the Dodger way. They like to work their walks, their bad pitches. It's like if they're not doing that, it's also creating problems for the offense. But you mentioned pitching. I'm actually pitching staff, like, bullpen has been good for the majority of the season. Starting pitching has also been good, but there's also been a few outings where there has been a little bit of a concern, but also with injuries, which seems to be a common theme.
Yeah,
but
early
I'm
in the
not too
season.
worried, honestly, because the Dodgers always start off slow in April. I don't remember the last time they dominated baseball in April because you
Right.
want to save it for later in the season to help separate.
They want to save it for October, which they
Yes.
historically are not good at.
Yeah,
So,
which is hopefully that changes this year because they actually
Yeah.
went out and spent over $1 billion to try to get this team together.
Yeah,
So,
Right.
absolutely.
yeah. And now I like to mention the Masters. I know Scotty Scheffler had an insane second half of that match, and he was really like pulled away to secure it was his, I believe, his second green jacket.
Yes.
So I want to hear what you guys think of his performance. And on the other side, Tiger Woods, of course, best golfer of all time, had his worst outing ever when he shot 16 over. So what are you guys' thoughts on both of their performances?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Scotty Scheffler had an absolutely dominating performance this past weekend. He's actually won 3 of his last 4 starts, including 2 consecutive victories at the Players' Championship, which was very difficult to win. And actually, fun fact about it is Augusta is known for its very strict rules. They don't allow any form of cell phones at all with their teams. However, Scheffler was excused with his camp because his wife was expecting. So the only person stopping Scheffler from getting that trophy this past weekend was his unborn child, because his team said that at any moment that phone rang, they were ready to get out of there and go to the emergency room. But honestly, just a dominating performance. He's only 27 years old, and I think the future is bright for him. I think he's going to win a couple more trophies this year. Now, going and flipping the page to Tiger Woods, it was a bit of a disappointing performance to his standards. However, we just can't forget the greatness that he was, and at this point in his career, it's just enjoying seeing him on the field compared to just talking about his greatness. So if anything, I don't think he'll win another one, but I think at this point we can all just appreciate the greatness he gave us.
Yeah, day 2 with Scotty Scheffler, the weather played a big factor. The wind was a major factor. The way he composed himself on the green, hitting 3 straight birdies on the back 9, 8, 9, 10, was phenomenal. And I think he secured his status as of right now world #1 golfer. And then for Tiger Woods, this past Sunday, it was his 100th career round at the Masters. What a phenomenal achievement, despite him shooting his record low performance. It's a lot of pros and cons with Tiger, but that's the way it is.
Yeah. And I'd like to hear from you, Eddie. I know, you were mentioning the environment at the Masters, because that's always a big talk in sports.
Oh yeah, I mean, just the nice weather, everything about it. I think it's a great environment for the crowd to watch and everything. Yeah.
Yeah, and now speaking of something that's going to be great for crowds to watch, we talked about the NBA play-in tournament is right around the corner, and as we're speaking right now, of course, I shouldn't say around the corner, but the Pelicans and Lakers just tipped off a few moments ago.
Right.
And then later tonight, my Sacramento Kings, unfortunately, were in this spot, but we'll be playing the Golden State Warriors. So I want to hear your predictions for these 2 games.
I think the Lakers are going to go out, they're going to win this game. There's a lot of pressure. However, going to the Warriors and Kings game, that one I know you're a little worried about, but
Yeah.
it's weird because we're so used to seeing LeBron and Curry for the past decade being in the top 2 seeds in their respective conference, and now to see them in the bottom, it just shows us how competitive the Western Conference has been. It's probably the most competitive it's been in the past two decades, probably. I do expect, however, that their veteran leadership will be able to be enough to take on these teams. However, they do have a large task ahead of them to be able to take on these younger teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, who's been on fire.
Yeah, starting with the Laker and New Orleans Pelicans game. We don't know what Laker team we're going to get, hot or cold, and it's just a matter of time how well they're going to perform. And I know with the injury of AD is going to play a factor with that game, but I think they're gonna beat the Pelicans. And then with New Orleans, is this the game Zion Williams shines bright? Because the spotlight has been on him because of his weight, and we'll see about that. And I do feel like the Kings are gonna have a field day with the Warriors. Easy does it, and it's gonna be a good game. Both of them are.
Yeah, I agree with what you guys said. I know, in the past, LeBron's had some injury trouble, that kind of thing, but I think, he stays healthy, and I think I don't think they'll be able to beat the experience that he brings, and I think the Lakers are going to win that one.
Yeah, and like you guys all said, I believe the Lakers have this game just because they've been so dominant against the Pelicans all season long, and I believe that'll continue. As for the Kings-Warriors game, I'm still undecided. I believe we have the roster to do it, but the injuries to Monk, to Herter, the inconsistency from Barnes, and really the inconsistency from Sabonis down the stretch is a little bit concerned for me because like Sabonis had a career year, but we've lost 5 of our last 7 to end the season to put us in this spot. So hopefully they can rebound. So I'm going to obviously ride with my team because I'm going to pick them until they're done. But I'm excited to see how these games will go tonight and really how the NBA playoffs are going to go just because it's been so competitive this year.
Yeah.
All right, Titans, that is all the time we have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Colin Costigan.
Hope to see you again. I'm Francisco Molina.
Thank you for watching. I'm Noah Segovia.
And I'm Eddie Bruegger. Give us a follow on Instagram and Twitter if you haven't already at CSUF Titan Sports to stay updated on all your weekly sports.